Okay, so I have another question for you guys. When you were younger, did you ever think that you'd be playing in a band full time?
Mm-hmm. Well, first I wanted to be a pop star, just totally solo. And then I really wanted to be in an all-girl, like, harmony-driven pop band. And then I wanted to be in a metal band, and this happened, so it was perfect.
That is perfect.
That was all I wanted to do when I was a little kid.
That's so cool. Yeah. What about you guys?
I don't ever think I was going to play music because I never thought I was good enough. So it just wasn't something that, I don't know, I went to school for advertising. I thought I was going to be in that field, and music came around and I really liked it, and I really like all the business aspects of music, which is funny. That's like that everybody hates
like
the
what?
most, but like when we started out, I used to do all the management and booking and...
Dude, me too.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm like, I kind of like
yeah, don't you love having an
business
entire day of like things you need to do?
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah. I have like 10 lists. I'm just like...
Yeah. So, yeah, but now I'm like so excited and happy that it's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I'm somewhere between the two of them. Like, I like Sharon all through junior high and high school. That was like my dream, was to tour in a band. And I played music growing up, but I grew up with like freaky musicians who are all in bands by the time we were like 18 and recording records. And I was just like, it'll never be me. So I went to college, got a degree in something completely different, didn't even dare to go near the music building. And then
it was a crummy building.
We went to college
together.
Oh, you did? Where did you guys go?
Azusa Pacific.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I think after that, is when I was like, I still want to be in a band. Like, when is this gonna die? So then I ended up joining their band. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
So crazy. I feel like we're kind of like, we started our band, or we've been in a band since we were like 13.
For fun, like,
yeah, but it was always like for fun. I never
teenager.
really thought that we'd be like doing it full
And
time.
we're like, this is cool. It's cool to be in a band. Like, let's do it.
Yeah, this is
Like,
fun.
oh,
And then
cool.
just like
Right.
1 year after another, and then pretty soon
Yeah.
you're like, oh, we've been doing this for 8 years. Like,
Yeah.
but not only until like the last year have we like started trying to do it like actually full time, or like I feel like when people would ask me like, oh, what do you do? I'd be like, oh, I work retail, like, and I play in a band.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, oh, I play in a band, or I'm a musician.
Yeah.
And it feels good to like finally like own it and
Yeah.
like claim it. And I don't know why it took
It
me
was
so long
hard
to
for
do
me
that.
Like, it took
Like,
me,
why,
years
you
to just
know?
be like, okay, like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
I think
People
because
kind of look at
the
you
way it
like,
sounds
really?
to other
They're like,
people,
you're not.
They're
It
just
sounds
like,
like you're just
like, oh,
bad.
I'm a rock star,
Yeah.
or like, you know what I mean? But like,
People, they're like, oh, you have songs, like, that's pretty cute.
yeah,
Yeah.
right? Like, I always
Yeah.
felt like that. But then I feel like there's like power in like owning it too. And being
Or like the
I'm a
criteria
musician.
of being a musician. Like, for so long, I even still, I won't say it. People are like, what do you do? I say I play in a band. I won't just say I'm a musician. Like, because I don't feel like I am. I feel like I play in a band. Like, I don't feel like anyone could just hire me out to do like a bunch of different things, even though I do. I don't know. I
You
just
are
won't.
a musician.
I am. I just
though.
won't say it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I play in a band.
It's hard to claim it.
That's my job.
Yeah, I
But
know.
it's important,
Why,
like you
though?
said.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
It's
feel
because
like
it's hard to explain. And then it's just like, I don't want to like explain myself because it's like, but you shouldn't have to explain yourself.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
that Uber driver that's like, oh, you're in a band?
Yeah.
And they like going to
They
their
put
phone
on-
and you're like, don't do it. Not because you're embarrassed,
Always.
but because it's like kind of
Yeah.
freaky and strange. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I do music sometimes. And they're like, what's your band name? Like, you know, like you don't want, I used to be like really amped. I was like, oh, if I just take all these rides, like people will totally know about my band now. Like, and then I was like,
Every
this
Uber
is so
driver.
bad. Yeah, this is so bad. I
Our
can't
boys
do
drive
this.
Uber sometimes. We're like, play our record in there.
Yeah, yeah.
that's a good idea. You should do
I
that.
drive
Just
for
do
Lyft
this live.
sometimes.
You do?
Yeah, I was thinking about just like casually like putting my music on and like seeing like.
And then when they ask, you can be like, "Oh, it's Easy Love." Like
And
you don't
I'm
have
just
to be like, "It's
oh,
my
yeah, you don't have to
band."
say that.
Nonchalant.
Just be like, oh, it's this cool band. It's this band called like da da da.
Yeah, they're
Like,
pretty
You
good.
don't have to say the band.
Isn't that such a weird thing? But, yeah, that's very weird.
But I still would feel weird. I'd be like nervous.
It's so funny.
I know. I was blasting up some of our demos in the car the other day down PCH, which is like the best place to have the windows down and blast
Oh,
music.
yeah.
And so, but it was one of my own songs, and I was like, I wonder if people know this is me. And I was like, and then I got really nervous, and I was like rolling the window up. There was like a cop, and I was like,
That's so funny. So speaking of like doing the band like full time, being a full time musician, do you ever question your career choice?
Yeah.
Because I do like once a week, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, you've been in a band for 10 years.
Yeah.
And we're coming up. We're
I feel like
8
that's
years.
the freaking mark. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. To
And
just
we're-
8
fly.
years is a long time
Like,
too,
right.
though.
Like, you
That's
can fly or you just crash. Like,
Well,
in
at
my
first
opinion.
when we started the band, I was like, in my mind, I was like, I'll give it 2.5 years, and if we're not progressing at a good rate, then because I had another career that I wanted to go after.
Yeah.
Then after that, I had to like spiritually decide that I'd like get rid of my plan B and just like go, with it. So I mean, I still question if it's gonna be successful.
But like, what is success?
I know.
Really, though?
Well,
you know what
no,
I mean?
it's
It's like
like
I feel that
to
way too.
afford
I'm like, oh, I
life.
want to be like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I think. Like if I can afford to live
Yeah,
Middle class
totally.
comfortably,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
think more
not
about
like
fulfillment
yeah.
than success.
Yeah,
Do you
fulfillment.
feel good when you do this? Like we did a podcast thing earlier, and our friend Zach was like, it's the best job in the world and the worst job in the world at the same time.
Yeah.
And that was like a cool reminder because everybody gets off the road or maybe it's backwards, they get on the road and you're like, why am I doing this? What am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Or like we get paid $100 to split through the whole band for a week and you're like, what? Like,
real life.
what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, here, Mom, I'm sending home $5. XO. Yeah.
It's also hard. It's really hard. The only time I have that question is like when I start playing the comparing game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's really hard because you come up with all your friends and you're all supporting each other and you have opinions about what's good and what's not good and what deserves this or that, or you put in more time or less time, and those are the only moments where I'm like, what the heck is it ever gonna happen? But then I have to remember, like, what is it?
Yeah.
Like, people could look at our band and be like, could that ever happen? And then it's
And
all
people
relative.
do too, It's like
Totally.
people look at our bands and they're like, "Oh, that's cool. I want to do
I
that."
look
Like
at you
inspiring
guys and I'm
other
like,
people.
Oh God, they're so good.
Yeah, totally.
Like, will we ever be
Dude,
that?
so relative. Everyone's idea of success is so different.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I never question whether being in a band is exactly what I'm supposed to do, but I do question, like, what if this doesn't pan out?
Right.
Then I just have to be like, I would never regret.
Yeah.
Ever. I have zero regret. It's
Yeah.
more just like, I eventually would like to have children and still be in a band, but like,
Yeah.
how am I going to do that? Like, that's like,
Yeah.
I think about that kind of stuff. I'd like to buy a house, not tomorrow, but like,
Yeah.
those are my only
Eventually.
real, like,
Yeah.
things that I'm
Yeah.
But they're simple and more and more bands like now, like taking kids on the road, like Shovels and
Yeah.
Rope and the Lumbello, like it is possible. It's hard. But yeah, I mean, touring and being a musician, it's like you're taking a huge risk every day, and that's something that I wouldn't have done in another career. Like I worked retail for years and years too, so it's like
Yeah, I think like it's weird how the timing works out, but like right when we're like doubting what we're doing or we're feeling really down, we'll have somebody like email us or come to us after a show and talk about how like the music has dramatically changed their life, and then you realize like, yeah, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. I feel like
So-
that too. I feel like I'm realizing more and more like how important it is,
Mm-hmm.
like our job as musicians and what we like bring to the world.
Yeah, yeah. It's
We
really
also-
nice.
live in like a funny time where musicians never made music. Oh. musicians never made money until like
Yeah.
the 40s or 50s, and then rock stardom happened, and now
and then it
like we were
tanked.
they were minstrels, like that's it. You like
Yeah.
traveled and you were poor. You're an artist. It was like not.
You're chaplains.
So now we're in this funny age of the internet where like we're not making money again, and everyone's like, thinks you're in a bus and you're like making bank, and you're like, you don't understand. That was like a very weird piece of history.
Yeah, we don't
that,
get a
like,
piece
might
of that.
not happen again unless you're a
Yeah.
full-on pop star. 1%.
Do you feel like when your friends see you on stage or maybe when you're on tour, do you think that people have like a different idea of what your life is like?
Yes.
Totally. And it's so
Like they see you
hilarious.
and they think like, oh, that's so cool. You're like a rock star, but you're like,
yeah,
we
we're
have
doing
no
it.
idea.
Everything is free for you.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like that's like what the music industry is like about, is the big facade. Like everybody socially puts you in a place
On a
and they're
pedestal.
like, oh man, they're really making it. And then you actually like pull the veil back and you're like, no, actually, I have like 2 side jobs that I do when I get home, and
It's like I have $20 in my account right now.
Yeah, and that's good.
Yeah.
We rise up late again, the mornings when the truth really seeps in. We're all just trying to get by, rushing to our 9 to 5s. We're living